What's up, guys? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron, and if it's your first time seeing one of my videos, I'd like to welcome you to my channel where I do music reviews and we just chill and talk about all things music. And if you have anything you want me to review, leave a comment below letting me know what it is, and I'll make it happen for you. And if you do that, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon. That way you don't miss out on your request reviews, because a lot of times that happens. I'll do the request review, and like 3 videos later, the same person will request the same exact video when I'm like, hey, I did it like a couple weeks ago, bro. It's over there. And for those of you who aren't new to my channel, I know it's been a little bit since I've uploaded anything. I just decided to take this Christmas week off and enjoy Christmas with my family and my cat, and it was pretty nice. And my first video back is full of high quality content. I went onto Facebook, onto 2 music groups, the metalcore group and the deathcore and metalcore group, and I asked them to have me choose between 2 different bands. I didn't think it was gonna blow up like it did, but each post had like 300 plus comments. It was ridiculous. A lot of other people were getting in on it. There was a lot of repeat stuff, but I got it narrowed down to just 48, which was really, really tough to do and took quite a while. And some of these choices are really tough as well. So let's just jump right into it, I guess. First off is Kiss versus AC/DC. Kiss is probably the only band that I really just hate their music. I don't like anything about them. And AC/DC, Hell's Bells is one of the first songs I ever learned how to play on guitar, so I gotta give it to AC/DC. Next is The Art Is Murder versus Fit For An Autopsy. This one is another really tough one. The Art Is Murder's Hates album is one of the best deathcore albums of all time, but Fit For An Autopsy is what got me into deathcore. And not only that, but the dudes there are super cool. So yeah, Fit For An Autopsy. Chelsea Grin versus AngelMaker. I'm not a huge fan of AngelMaker and not really a huge fan of Chelsea Grin, but I'll listen to Chelsea Grin way before I go over to AngelMaker. Backstreet Boys versus 98 Degrees. Backstreet Boys, this isn't even like close to a contest. The Black Dahlia Murder versus Shadow of Intent. Shadow of Intent, hands freaking down. Eminem versus 50 Cent. I wouldn't be who I am today if I wasn't walking around in 7th grade at school singing Kill You. So Eminem all the way. Wiggles versus Barney. Barney, because he's the freaking OG. Again, there wouldn't be a Wiggles without a Barney. Aqua versus B52. B52's Aqua blows. Soundgarden versus Alice in Chains. This one was really, really, really tough. But I haven't listened to Soundgarden in probably about like 5 or 6 years. At least I haven't chosen to listen to them. And I'll go out of my way to listen to Alice in Chains. So Alice in Chains for sure. Brand of Sacrifice versus Black Tongue. Brand of Sacrifice, yeah. Black Tongue versus Justin Bieber. Black Bieber Tongue. Cattle Decapitation versus Acacia Strain. The Black Dahlia Murder versus Carnifex. Black Dahlia Murder, I like Carnifex a lot, but Black Dahlia Murder takes on this one. Humanities Last Breath versus Acacia Strain. Again, Acacia, I don't know too many bands that are going to win over Acacia Strain, to be completely honest. Avenged Sevenfold versus Atreyu. Avenged Sevenfold, yeah. I listen to them so much more, and even their new stuff coming out, I mean, it's kind of dad rock now, but Atreyu's Baptized made it on my worst album of the year list, and they've fallen so far. Deftones versus Tool. This one pains me a lot because I really like Deftones and I really like Tool. I listen to Tool so much more though, so I gotta go with Tool. Between the Buried of Me versus Tesseract, Between the Buried of Me all the way, especially Alaska. Alaska beats every single Tesseract album there is. Frank Zappa versus Billy Idol. Billy Idol, because I feel like when I listen to Frank Zappa, it just reminds me of how stupid I am and how I just don't know anything about music really. Signs of the Swarm versus Lorna Shore. This is another one that hurt me a lot. It hurt me so much. I gotta go with Lorna Shore. Their last EP is just, it's so good. Even if I only like that EP, is just still so freaking good. Last 10 Seconds of Life versus Spite. I gotta give it to Last 10 Seconds of Life because I'm not a huge fan of Spite, but I gotta say, with Baby J leaving Amir and playing drums for Spite now, I have a feeling some things are going to be changing over there. Fit For An Autopsy versus Suicide Silence. Fit For An Autopsy. Suicide Silence was pretty sick. The Mitch years were really good, and now the Eddie years have declined drastically, while Fit For An Autopsy, they just keep like a fine wine. They just keep getting better and better. Era versus Ocean's 8 Alaska. I gotta give it to Era. They're a pedestal band for me. Again, it's gonna be really hard for anybody to beat them. Next is Texas in July versus August Burns Red. August Burns Red very easily. Fit For a King versus Polaris. This one's really, really tough because Polaris is good, but I don't like them. And Fit For a King isn't good, but I do like them. I don't like the last album though, but Death Grip is just so, like, their first like 4 albums, just, man, this one, Fit For a King, they're just, I mean, even if their last album was just like utter trash, but Polaris is still, I just don't like them. Born of Osiris versus After the Burial. This is it. This is the one that I don't think I can pick. This is 2 of my favorite bands right now. After the Burial, because I like more than 2 of their albums, I guess. Whitechapel versus Oceano. No idea why. I have a really hard time getting into Oceano. So, Whitechapel. Thy Art Is Murder versus Rings of Saturn. Same kind of thing. Rings of Saturn, it just sounds like a bunch of robots playing. So we're going to go with Thy Art Is Murder. Pantera versus Slayer. I'm going to make a lot of enemies with this one. I'm so burnt out on Slayer right now. So I got to go with Pantera. The riffs are just so good. I like some of the vocals more. The solos are definitely where it's at. Creed versus Trapt. Creed is fantastic compared to Trapt. They have at least more than one hit wonder. Trapt is just sitting there with 2. Next we have Beneath the Massacre and Rings of Saturn. Beneath the Massacre, all the way. Spirit Box versus Jinjer. I mean, Spirit Box is pretty dope. Their album Eternal Blue is good, but it's just one album, and Jinjer has like a lot of albums, and their concept thing with Micro Macro is phenomenal. So Jinjer takes this one fairly easily. Silent Planet versus Invent Animate. Silent Planet, easy again. Acacia Strain versus Amir. I feel like the person who asked me this one has seen my videos before, because Acacia Strain was my album of the year, and Amir is my most hated album on my channel so far. So, I mean, yeah, Acacia Strain, easily. Lamb of God versus Killswitch Engage. Ooh, this is not easy. Because Lamb of God is what got me into metalcore, like playing Laid to Rest on Guitar Hero. And then it got me into like Shadows Fall, just because I didn't like distorted vocals back then. And then I heard Lamb of God as I do. This is actually pretty sick. This riff is the nastiest freaking thing I've ever heard in my life. And then I got into Killswitch Engage later on. But I do like, I gotta give it to Lamb of God. They're just, their albums are just legendary. But I mean, so is Killswitch. I don't know. Yeah, Lamb of God based on bias. Bullet for My Valentine versus Trivium. They still put out freaking masterpieces of albums, while Bullet for My Valentine is just not doing that. Enterprise Earth versus Shadow of Intent. Shadow of Intent, easy. Asking Alexandria versus Bring Me the Horizon. They're not my favorite band. In fact, I don't like them too much at all. But compared to Asking Alexandria's stuff recently at all within the past couple years, it's just not good. Slayer versus Megadeth. Again, kind of burnt out on Slayer. I gotta go with Megadeth on this one. Metallica versus Megadeth. This is a tough one too. Metallica, but I will say that Metallica's first 4 albums are basically what win it, or maybe even 5 albums are basically what win it. But Megadeth has been just so much more consistent at putting out good music, while Metallica has just kind of become more of like dad rock at this point. The Devil Wears Prada versus Attila. This one is, It's not really tough, but it's just funny, the comparisons between these two. The Devil Wears Prada, Attila is god-awful. Shadow of Intent versus Lorna Shore. I gotta go with Shadow of Intent again. Lorna Shore is phenomenal. Will Ramos is great, but he only has five songs? Four? I can't remember how many songs are on the EP. I think it's 4. He has just one EP worth of great stuff, while Bender has a discography of phenomenal work. Wage War versus Currents all day, easily. Especially, like, Wage War's Blueprints is great, but after that, it just kind of falls apart. Killswitch Engage versus As I Lay Dying. This is like Megadeth versus Metallica. I gotta go with As I Lay Dying, though, just because they were just so much more. They were the aggression that I needed in metalcore when I was listening to them. Parkway Drive versus Polaris. Parkway Drive, 100%. System of a Down versus Godsmack. System of a Down. Godsmack is kind of more of a meme nowadays. Iron Maiden versus Judas Priest. Iron Maiden, easy. Green Day versus Blink-182. Green Day, because I'm not in high school anymore. I can't. It feels weird when I listen to Blink-182. Metallica versus Nickelback. This is another really tough one. I gotta go with Nickel. I was